Get started. Okay, welcome to the January 2025 Environmental Commission meeting. I guess we get ready with the roll call.
Commission Chair Kramer,
Present.
Commission Vice Chair O'Connor,
Present.
Commissioner Parker,
Here.
Commissioner Switzler,
Here.
Commissioner Bruner,
Here.
Commissioner Wick,
Here.
and Commissioner Fletcher. Let the record show that we have a quorum with all 7 commissioners present.
Thank you, Maria. Would anyone like to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance? Sure. Thank you. Thank you, Commissioner Switzler. Any changes to the agenda?
There are no changes to the agenda.
Okay, do we have any oral communications?
Yes, we have one speaker, Barbara Gordon, regarding smoke-free multi-unit housing.
Great, welcome.
Barbara Gordon. I am a public health educator with San Diego Alliance, and I'm here today to thank you for your efforts in advocating for a cleaner, safer environment by adding smoke-free multi-unit housing to your work plan, and this will improve the lives of many people. We all have the right to breathe clean air, smoke-free air, especially in the homes. As the director of a Hispanic youth group called the Changers, they are high school students that all go to our 4 high schools. Our youth and their families more often live in multi-unit residence, where they must often share ventilation and walls with that are affected by drifting tobacco and marijuana smoke, which has caused some of health issues. Currently, the law in California, 82 cities and our neighboring Carlsbad all have smoke-free multi-unit housing ordinance. This law has a lot of support. According to a recent survey shared by the counties of San Diego Live Well office, nearly 70% of Californians answered positively that apartment complexes should require all units to be smoke and vape-free. This environmental commission has done great work on the city's smoke-free outdoor public places ordinance. This would be the perfect time to support and protect our families from the exposure of secondhand smoke where they live. Thank you for letting me speak.
Thank you. And it looks like we don't have any presentations tonight, so we can move on to the approval of minutes. Would anyone like to put forth a motion to approve the minutes from last month's meeting?
Make a motion.
Okay, I'll second that. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Okay, moving right along to informational items. Looks like we don't have any. And then, so we're going on to action items with the work plan review.
All right.
Thanks.
Thank you, Chair Kramer. And I will, as we regularly do, can you see it on the screen? Yeah, I'll zoom in a little bit. I will go through your updates since your last meeting. All the updates for your work plan are by project, and the status, anything new is in bold red font. And I'll focus on that for the update and then provide you with an opportunity to add any additional comments. So for the first one, which is commission outreach and representation, I wanted to remind you that it was shared that the first Street Stewards event is scheduled for Saturday, January 11th at 8:30. I believe you're meeting at Panikin. Is that right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Perfect. Do you want to add anything to that?
I guess more for Commissioner Fletcher. Yeah, this is program Street Stewards. Mark, Rob, myself, we're captains, but it's like adopt a highway for city streets. So it's pretty cool. They started in OB and then we're getting it into Encinitas. So, Mark, I talked to Scott. Hopefully the website's updated by the end of the month, but it's cool. You can go in and like register your name and then like highlight on Google Maps like a little section of street and say, cool, I adopt that. But then part of it is we're gonna host like monthly just cleanups. We're gonna meet at the Panikin. We got some coffee and stuff. Katie's coming. But if you're free Saturday, we're meeting at 8:30. Come, we're bringing all the stuff. You just show up and we're gonna walk around for like, I think like 45 minutes to an hour and a half and pick up trash and that's it.
Okay, amazing. Mark actually told me about it, and I so wish I could be there. I'm out of town Saturday to Saturday, but it was so wild. After you texted me about that, a customer came in, and she's unemployed. She just moved here, kind of taking a sabbatical a little early, and she was like, I have this business idea that's not really a business, but long story short, she's like, I want to do street cleanups instead of beach cleanups because I've gone down to the beach, and it's such an effort, and our communities, they're all pristine. But I want to pick up trash. And I was like, that's
She
wild.
can
Go to
join.
the Panikin this weekend.
Yes.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
sent you your way. And for whatever it's worth, I was trying to look it up so I could show her something aside from your text, and I couldn't really find it. So
Oh, streetstewards.com.
amazing. Yeah, I didn't know the name, so that's probably was the problem. But
And I did a practice run the other night. I was telling Mark this on my nightly loop, and I was like, because I got my own picker, and I was like, kind of shocked at how much trash I picked up. I like almost a quarter of a trash bag.
oh my gosh, do you need buckets?
So you can, and we might bring them to the other ones, but this is kind of like a, I don't know, kind of like it's our first one. So we just got bags, we got pickers, and actually everybody that comes gets a shirt. So,
I was just asking because we have so many extras of the 5-gallon ones in
Yeah,
the
oh, yeah,
store
like the
right
Home
now.
Depot ones.
So
Okay.
yeah, you can definitely use
Save-
them because we
save
can
a couple.
sanitize them with like a food grade sanitation solution after and still use them. So you can take
if
them.
you can save a couple, because
Oh,
I'm
we
gonna.
always do. We keep them always.
Oh, you do? Okay. So, yeah, buckets and,
Sorry, I feel like this is a great discussion.
Oh,
Maybe
yeah.
we should kind of move.
Katie, you'll come
Is
to
that because you're a football fan, or?
No, just let's talk after the meeting.
We'll
No,
finish
yeah.
before the Charger
Yeah.
game, so in case anybody's.
Usually, just for our knowledge, like this is a good place to have updates of things that are going on, but we don't usually have a discussion during that time. But this was really good to exchange information this first time around. Okay.
Okay.
I
Yeah,
guess.
and I'll just note that this is, the Street Stewards Cleanup is a non-city sponsored event, so it's great that it's happening, but yeah. And then for your project number 2, which is the Environmental Awards Program, what we had stated here is actually already out of date. So we had just stated that you should begin advertising and seeking nominations. So as of now, the press release has been drafted. And Maria, do you know when it's going to be posted?
Yes, it'll be posted tomorrow.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, so good work on that, and things are moving along. And I am blanking on the due date for the applications, but does the subcommittee
I think
have
it was March 28th,
March 28th.
Friday?
It got moved up since we were getting it out sooner.
So it's February 14th.
Oh, okay,
That's
great.
good, easy to remember.
And a thank you to Robert for creating this year's press release.
Absolutely. Glad to get the ball started.
Great.
And I would just like to encourage everyone to think of somebody in a category and make some nominations this year. Just to get a wide range of people that we can have the judges look at.
Yeah, that's a good reminder, is in addition to the press release, and we can get out some social media announcements about it, but word of mouth is always really good too, for you guys to spread the word about the awards and yourselves be seeking, ideas on who could be nominated.
Is there like a link to the nomination?
There will be once the press release is posted, there will be a link. You can find that on the city's web page.
Is that also on the app? Do you know?
Does the app have a link to the city's webpage? If it does, then yes.
It does. It does have
Kind of in
links
a
to
roundabout
different-
way.
Yeah. in a
Yeah.
roundabout way. Okay, I'll check it out. Thanks.
Yeah. Okay, So moving down to project number 4, which is the mobility element. So I think this shouldn't have been read. Maybe, well, here's the update. Staff is analyzing and incorporating suggested revisions, and the final mobility element is tentatively scheduled to be heard by council February 26, 2025. So I don't think it's a different update from the prior month, but still something that's coming in the future. So essentially, the mobility element is been fully drafted and in terms of staff's work on it, and it just needs to be adopted by council. So you guys did a bunch of work on that when you provided your comments. So.
Crystal, can I ask you a question about the construction on Santa Fe and the changes to the progress of that? Is that part of the mobility element? Is that?
The
does that
mobility
fit in?
element is more high level
Okay.
than that. Yeah,
Okay.
so that's a CIP project that
Okay.
is been budgeted for and is in construction now. So that's more like boots on the ground. Yeah, it's
Okay.
more in the regular capital improvement plan that project is,
Okay.
not in the mobility element.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Okay. So project number 5, which is our 5-year climate action plan update. So for this one in December, the additional analysis that our consultants were additionally contracted to do was completed, and the consultants then began the implementation and cost analysis component of the CAP. And this included input from city staff, which has also been completed. And then the final update of the remaining chapters was also initiated in December, and we anticipate that the completed draft will be available for the public to review in February of this year. So coming up. So next month, we should have a draft ready. We're very much deep in the weeds on finishing that draft and aim to have it ready for public review in February.
How long is the public comment period?
We haven't decided yet, but it'll probably be at least 2 weeks, but maybe more. It could be 3 or so weeks. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And I'll definitely let you all know as soon as it's available so that you can do a deep dive. And then, of course, we're going to have a dedicated meeting for you all to review it as well. So it may even be at your next February meeting. Probably your March meeting. I think we have it scheduled out to have you do a deep dive review. You'll have, a link to the document in your agenda to be able to read through the whole thing and provide comments during the meeting. You'll get a presentation and all of that. So, any other questions, comments? Okay. All right. For project number 7, I'll just note that we did add Commissioner Bruner to that subcommittee as was requested at the last meeting. And that's the last update, unless anyone has any other updates they want to provide. Or actually, if the subcommittee on, where are we at? On project number 12, the environmentally preferable purchasing policy, if you want to maybe give a brief update about the meeting we just had.
Sure, I can. So the purchasing policy is from 2010 now. There's still a lot of really great and very forward things, especially coming from 2010 that we're looking to keep, but there were certainly a lot of things that we are looking at that we think could be updated. So we all reviewed individually, and just before this meeting, we're pulling together our notes to combine them into one so we can have one set of recommendations to update the policy.
Is there an update on number 10, the food service plastic one? Katie, do you have anything?
Sure, yeah, I have an update. So we finalized the online survey for food service providers to kind of assess what kind of business they have and benefits and challenges to implementing a compostable only or reusable only ordinance for food service providers. And the next step is for Crystal is going to get back with us after convening with some city staff about when that might be put up on the city's website and the timeline for that.
Yeah, I need to check with our public information officer about how to best approach that.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
yeah.
And then, yeah, just one thing I will note is that some of these work plan items only have 2 commissioners, and we can have a maximum of 3. So if there are any that are of interest to you, Commissioner Fletcher, we left some of them open intentionally, yeah. So you can see if you want to join any. Perfect, thank you. Sure.
Yeah, and I'll just add that if you did want to join anything, we should make a motion, either, it doesn't have to be tonight, but it should be agreed upon by the commission, and then we would formally add you to the different commissions. So no pressure tonight, but if you want to think about it, and then maybe at the next meeting, share which ones that you're interested in joining.
Crystal, can you remind me where we are with the green building incentive program?
Yeah, so where is that one? Number 6.
Yeah.
Yeah, so so that's been in staff's hands. We've got our set of revisions ready. We should reconvene the subcommittee. I think that we're kind of close to that point. I hesitate only because there's been a lot of changes throughout the city recently with I have a new director, we have a new city manager, we have new council members. So I need to get a sense of where upper management and council is at in terms of when, trajectory, like when we could take this to council for approval. So they've got a lot on their plate right now. They're kind of learning the ways of how the city does business, and so we want to make sure that we're taking it to them when it's most appropriate. So, but yes, we could definitely, in the meantime, reconvene the subcommittee and share with you some of staff's thoughts on what your thoughts were, and kind of have a more formalized final version that we could be ready to take with your recommendation to council. So, yeah. Mm-hmm. Any other comments or questions? All righty. Then I will jump over to the calendar.
Should
Share that
we
with you.
approve the update?
Sure, do you want to do that before looking at the calendar?
Doesn't matter to me.
Either way.
Yeah,
It's up to
we
you.
can do the calendar. You have it open?
Okay.
Yeah, thanks.
All righty. So we're in January and February timeframe right now, which this doesn't apply at this time because you've got a full commission, and there aren't any terms expiring. So this is kind of the, just to share a little background, this is the calendar, the annual calendar that kind of is consistent from year to year, no matter what year you're in. So there's some things that aren't, don't happen every single year, but I still want to note them in there so we don't forget them in the years that they do happen. So. And then coming up in March, you won't be selecting new commissioner terms, but you will be appointing a new chair and a vice chair for the next 1-year term. So keep that in mind. In a couple months, we'll need to select that. And then in April is when you would announce your environmental award recipients at a council meeting. And you would establish, well, this won't happen this year because your work plan is a 2-year work plan, so we just adopted it. So this year you get a break and don't need to work on your work plan, but the following year you would. And then Arbor Day is likely to be in April. A date and location hasn't been announced yet, but just keep that in mind. I'll just go through the whole calendar for this meeting since Commissioner Fletcher is new. In May is when the commission would adopt the recommended work plan, but again, not doing that this year. Cyclovia is scheduled. It's going to be on Sunday, May 18th, and it will be on Coast Highway 101 again. So if you'd like to participate or just attend or even volunteer to help out with one of the city booths, then you're more than welcome to do that. In June is when, if you did have a work plan that needed to be readopted, that would happen in June. And then EcoFest, I actually have some late breaking news on that. It looks like they are confirming that they will hold the organization that puts on EcoFest just did recently reach out to the city to identify a date and location for EcoFest in June. I believe we're looking at June 1st as the date. They're looking at June 1st as the date and having it be at the Encinitas Community Park. So we're working on an MOU with the organization to establish the city as a supporter of that event. And then July, August, September, October, and November, you get a little break. There's still business that happens, but nothing that's on like our annual recurring cycle. And then in December is when you initiate your environmental awards program. And then also when recruitment starts for your subsequent commissioner terms. And that rounds out the year. And now if you want to go back and approve the updates, you can.
Thank you, Crystal. Would anyone like to make a motion to approve the work plan update?
I'll motion to approve the work plan update.
No pressure.
I'll second.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right.
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, thanks. And it looks like we don't have any commissioner-initiated, or do we actually have any commissioner-initiated action agenda items? And no changes to that? Okay, any updates on items of interest? Mark?
I've got one. It's not this weekend, but next. That is the 18th. Moonlight Beach is Surfriders' monthly beach cleanup, 9 to 11. And what's kind of neat is they're collaborating with our Surfrider Climate Change Committee, and they've reached out to the Botanical Gardens and the Cottonwood Creek group. So there'll be like a beach cleanup and then a small group going into the creek to pull invasive species and to plant new plants and also pick up debris. So it's a neat collaboration working together on that same day and time.
Mark, who takes all the trash from the Surfrider beach cleanups? We found our own method, but
Yeah, there was issues.
okay.
We put it because there's only like 5 bags, so each of the cans that's already down there we'll walk around and not overburden one can, but we'll space it out into the city's. It's the city's trash. It's going into the city's trash cans.
I had a question about the beach cleanups and the street stewardess cleanups too. My father-in-law loves to pick up trash, and he might join us for the street stewardess event. But he just noted he kind of walked us a swath near our home and picked up like 200 cigarette butts. So there's obviously the smoking ordinance has not eliminated cigarette butts, but it might likely has reduced it. But is there a way to use that data to kind of see the impact of the ordinance, or if there's any trends over time?
Surfrider does it in their beach cleanups, and right now Street Stewards does not track any data, but we might try to see internally, locally, in just our own city's street stewards. We haven't really broached it as a group to talk about it, but I think that rough estimate of 200 by somebody or 500 or however many we get Saturday is documented. I'd document it if the data was brought forward just to keep an eye on it, see. I think people are data driven, so to show that, like you were saying, didn't stop it, but it's still continuing.
Maybe if we can like identify some hot spots where maybe another sign might be needed, or some
Good
other
idea.
measures. Yeah. Okay. Any future commissioner initiated agenda items? Okay. And with that, I think this is a record short meeting. We will adjourn. Thank you, everyone.